If Thor had just aimed for Thanos' head instead of being blinded by vengeance in Avengers Infinity War, he might have stopped the Mad Titan completely. Over the course of the movie, we saw an interesting dynamic develop between Thor and Rocket, and that is something we expect to see continue in Endgame. But does the trailer hint that we may see those two face off against Thanos much sooner than expected? Let's find out. During the second trailer for Avengers Endgame, we saw some of our favorite heroes again, and the only shots fired were by Black Widow at target practice. In fact, as far as we're concerned, it's the most seemingly innocuous moments which could reveal the most information about what's going to happen in Endgame. Seeing Captain Marvel swooping in to save the day or getting confirmation that Shuri's still alive would have been pretty awesome. But we may have gotten some even better clues when we least expected them. During the second trailer, we saw Thor suited up and looking out over a place which looked pretty familiar. In the first trailer for Endgame, we got confirmation for something comic book fans had been hoping would happen. Farmer Thanos! Yes, in the comic books, Thanos gets out of the supervillain game for a while and decides to live a simple and mundane life as a farmer. He hangs up his armor, quite literally, and settles down into a quiet and unobtrusive existence. A lot of what has happened in the MCU so far takes place in rather high-tech places. New York City is a major setting for many adventures. And then we have the nation of Wakanda and the myriad of places in outer space that the Guardians of the Galaxy travel to. Frankly, seeing a downright rustic place is kind of surprising, which is why we were so surprised to see where Rocket was during the second Endgame trailer. He's usually one of the more technologically advanced members of the MCU, but his location during the trailer seemed rather quaint. We see him opening a rustic-looking wooden door, and in the background, there seems to be grass and water. So now we have Thanos, Thor, and Rocket all in some seemingly simple places. But could they be in the same spot? It's safe to say that Thor has an axe to grind, pun intended, with Thanos at this point, and Rocket feels the same way. Could these two characters be together and getting ready to take down the Mad Titan at the very beginning of the movie? After all, Thor still has Stormbreaker, and it was very nearly enough to defeat Thanos the first time. People like to pile on Star-Lord for losing his cool during Infinity War and spoiling the plan, but Thor really didn't do any better. If he just aimed for his head, Thanos would have already been dealt with, and we're guessing this fact isn't lost on Thor. His motivation for taking down Thanos is at an all-time high as we head into Endgame. Not only is he furious at Thanos for killing so many people he loves, but he also feels a sense of personal failure for allowing Thanos to cause the decimation. We wouldn't be surprised if Thor decides to pull out all the stops when it comes to going after Thanos at this point. Then, we have Rocket, who we saw share a special bond with Thor during Infinity War. Thor had just lost everything, and was at his absolute lowest point. So naturally, he found himself paired up with a talking raccoon-like creature with an astounding lack of empathy. But somehow, it worked out great, and the friendship between these two was one of the highlights of the movie. By the end of Infinity War, Rocket had lost everything as well. A major subplot of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 was all about how Rocket tended to push people away in order to prevent himself from getting hurt. Not only did Rocket lose all of the friends he worked so hard to let in, but he also lost Groot. The first time he lost Groot was absolutely heartbreaking, but Rocket raised baby Groot as his own son. Director James Gunn even confirmed that the last word Groot said to Rocket was "Dad." Yeah, as if that movie wasn't sad enough. Thor and Rocket have enough motivation to do something downright reckless in order to defeat Thanos. Say, like going after him themselves. What could be the outcome of such a battle? Especially at the beginning of the movie without any of the remaining Avengers. As unlikely as it seems, they could actually defeat Thanos. There's the fact that the Infinity Gauntlet was damaged at the end of Infinity War. Our heroes are going to have to figure out some way to use the Infinity Stones. However, they acquire them. Encountering Farmer Thanos early on in the movie would at the very least provide our heroes with useful information which they could utilize over the course of the movie. But of course, their plan could also go terribly, terribly wrong. Instead of taking out the massive threat of Thanos, Thor and Rocket could inadvertently let him know that the Avengers are doing their darndest to undo the decimation. Come on, guys, that's why you stick to the plan instead of going off on your own. Having Rocket and Thor take on Thanos right from the get-go would definitely be an unexpected and high-octane way to kick off Endgame. We know Rocket Raccoon can create any gadget imaginable, and Thor's one of the strongest characters in the MCU. So could these two really start Endgame by facing off against the Mad Titan? Let us know in the comments section below, and don't forget to subscribe to CBR for more MCU content. Thanks for watching.